We got AwakeJimmy with us today. How's it going, man?
Hey man, how you doing? You alright?
I'm doing all right. So, just had a kid recently, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I've got a son, Jacob. He is currently nearly, I want to say 3 weeks old. I want to say 3 weeks old. So yeah, it's been a new experience, that's for sure.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
been managing the whole streaming life pretty well with having a new child in the house?
It's it's been difficult. I mean, I kind of knew going forward with streaming and having a child that there'd be a bit more difficulty to it. But my partner, obviously, when I got with my partner, she already had a child. So, like, I don't know, like, having a newborn and a toddler, it can be challenging at the same time because, like, previously I used to do an afternoon and an evening stream. Now I only do the evening stream now. So yeah, like it's come with some challenges.
Yeah. Yeah, reduced hours for sure doesn't, especially streaming. I
Oh,
know that doesn't help too much.
yeah, and like loss of hours of sleep and everything. But I mean, you ask any parent, I mean, that's gonna happen.
Yeah. I mean, hell, I got two kids now, and I'm trying to figure out how to start my whole streaming business and stuff. So I definitely know how that's going. Uh,
Yeah,
it's rough. Um, so like, how long you been streaming for?
I want to say I'm coming. I want to say I've just gone. I want to say this year is going to be my 3 year anniversary on Twitch. I want to say. I want to say April. April it would have been 3 years on Twitch. So yeah, it's coming up to 3 years, man. Coming up to 3 years on Twitch now. So it's uh it's been a long and bumpy road. That's for sure.
Yeah. When did you decide? Like, I guess, how long did it take before you just? Because you're full time now, right? Streaming.
I am a full-time streamer now. Yeah, I don't know. The Previously to Twitch, I did YouTube. Now, with YouTube videos, as you know, being a YouTube man, like the time that it takes to like cut, chop, mix, master fucking videos. Sorry for swearing.
Oh, you're right.
It can be so time consuming,
Mhm.
and constantly, my friend Andrew was badgering on that I should try Twitch. So I remember back in like 2016, I opened up an account on Twitch and I thought, "Ah, I'll give it a try." And I tried it once. I thought, nah, I can't be asked for this. So I left it. And during that time, between that time and 3 years ago, I was in a hardcore punk band and I was playing a lot of shows everywhere. And like I didn't really have the time to do anything like I'm doing now. But I did miss it. But I'm always someone who kind of like needs to have something going for them in their personal life as well as, I don't know, work or something like that.
Mhm.
And after the band split up, I thought, what the heck can I do? And again, my friend messaged me just to say, like, oh, you should stream on Twitch. And I remember just streaming. I was just streaming to him because he found something really funny. I want to say it was like getting over it with Benny Foddy or some crap like that. And all I just remember was streaming that, and I had like people coming and watching me, and I just thought, oh, I'll just keep going, I'll keep going, I'll keep going. But yeah, that was probably the first time, and even that was, I don't know. Every streamer, every streamer has had that instance where they've streamed to like one or two people. Like,
Mhm.
dude, I'm not gonna friggin' lie. One of the people viewing me was me on my phone, like
Yeah.
just so I could get a viewer number. But I mean,
Yeah.
most people did that.
Yeah. I know. Like, I remember when Meatball Alex started streaming. I was always just me and him would be playing games, and I'd throw his stream up on my other screen, and he'd have two screens and the laptop open. And
Yeah,
I haven't quite gotten that far yet to where I'm doing that. I ended up having to take like a year off because I just didn't have time to play games with the career I was going down. But
yeah.
yeah, I decided recently start picking it back up. So um yeah, I'm hoping it takes off. I noticed you've been taking off pretty well. You're up to 2,300 now
Something
followers.
stupid like that. But dude, I got followed bot today. Went up to 3,000.
Oh, really?
So Yeah, don't worry, I removed it all, but I don't know. That's I kind of don't really rely on follow numbers as much. I try to rely on viewer numbers to make sure the viewer numbers increase. Because
Hmm.
I mean, you think about it, you could have 100 followers. If those 100 people are coming to watch you, you've got 100 viewers. You know, if you've got 20,000 viewers and you've got 2 people viewing you, which one would you prefer? You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you seem to stay pretty consistent though. Like I get home from work, I like to pop in your stream, see how you're doing, and kind of mess with you a little bit. And I always notice there's at least 20 almost every time I jump in. And
Yeah.
you think they're like it mostly diehard fans?
I don't know. I think the one thing that kind of bugged me, especially going onto Twitch, is you see most people streaming these days, and they're usually streaming as what I call a one-trick pony. You know,
Hmm.
you usually see the same thing. I don't know. They're playing a damn sports game. They're playing Call of Duty or something. They've got nothing there for viewer interaction, if that makes sense. Like, I think the thing that gets me, especially with what I want to do when I'm streaming, I want to make sure it's entertaining because I grew up in like a comedy background. Like
Hmm.
everything, I loved comedy. Like, as a kid, I loved stuff like South Park, friggin' The Simpsons, Beavis and Butthead, all of the cartoony
Yeah.
stuff.
Oh yeah.
So, you know, there's as you can imagine, my channel, that's why you hear a lot of penis and butt jokes all the time. It's stuff I friggin' grew up with, you know?
Hey, and there is a market for that out there. I mean, there's a lot of YouTubers that do the same thing and gain huge followings.
Yeah,
It keeps your attention. It keeps my attention, that's for sure. It's funny.
exactly. I think the one thing I think the one thing, especially with Twitch, is you like to have someone, especially with like me with the Moron Club. I never intended to for the Moron Club to be a place where it's all about me. I wanted the Moron Club to legit be a community because the thing that really fucking pees me off, especially with most places, most people say, "Oh, this is my community,"
Hmm.
and it's not. Whereas I want the Moron Club to be about everyone. And I mean, personally myself, I deal with mental health quite bad. And a lot of people would usually sometimes come into the stream and say, I've had a really sucky day, I've had an awful day, I felt so low, I felt down. And there's something about being able to stream and make people laugh that really, really just does brighten my day. So I think seeing other people's laughter and seeing other people's enjoyment is what brings me enjoyment. So that's a big part for me, really, especially with the Moron Club. I've always tried to make it about the viewer and less about the streamer, which is why every time you'll probably come into my game or into my streams and everything, 9 times out of 10 it'll be games where the viewers can do something to the game, or me playing a friggin' horror game or whatever. It's just, I mean, I hate horror games. I can't goddamn stand them,
Hmm.
but people enjoy me see me screaming like a bitch, so like it makes their day, so I friggin' do it.
I mean, I jump in your like I said, I jump in your Twitch stream often, and I see the way you interact with people and everything, and it's all lighthearted. It seems like, and it's actually fun to watch. I myself love watching you play, um, and it's actually really cool that you have that kind of outlook towards, just making it about the viewer. There's not a lot of like I myself even have problems with that when I go and I start trying to Twitch. I have trouble even looking at the chat box because my attention's not there.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's a pretty cool skill you have to be able to communicate, keep people entertained, and still play a game at the same time.
I think that's the one thing that's missing from most people who go onto Twitch. Most people want that whole glory with Twitch and everything. I mean, I don't even class myself as a big streamer. I just count myself as a lucky streamer, if anything.
Hmm.
As I think the only thing I could probably suggest for anyone who does go into that streaming element is your stream is your first priority. Your chat and everything is your first priority. The game is second. Like, and I see it everywhere with streamers. Like, streamers are so hell bent focused on the game, and then their stream is second. And you wonder why some people come in there and say, "Hey," and then they dip after 5 minutes.
Hmm.
Like, sometimes people want people to chat to. I mean, especially with Twitch, some people, as you can imagine with Twitch, some people are at home, maybe they need someone to talk to, and sometimes as crazy as it sounds, especially in this day and age, sometimes a person streaming can really do that.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm starting to notice that more and more as I go along too. Not even just with streaming, but like just even just playing games with people you find online. Sometimes you notice like there's been the past couple weeks, 4 or 5 people that we've invited to the Discord just from playing with them, and you can tell like they talk to you, they want to tell you about their day, and it's just kind of a cool feeling, when you get to meet somebody like that. It's on the other side of the world sometimes, and you just get to talk to them, and
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly that. Like, I wouldn't have met people like Scruffy, Meatball, you, or fucking even like someone crazy as stupid as like Dub or something, if this didn't happen. Like, because end of the day, like, I don't care about your background, I don't care who you are, I don't care whatever. End of the day, if I want to play games with you, I will play video games with you. Simply put, I mean, video games I feel are, you know, granted it's a very crazy industry, but video games bring people together. Video games make memories.
yeah.
Like, I think that's simply put, like, I'll always, be able to have a laugh with people online and play games and all,
Mhm.
you know,
Do you think
simply put.
Do you think it's kind of like always been like that for you? Because for like an example, back when I was playing just Xbox 360, back in the Call of Duty days, you look past the lobby N-word spamming and stuff.
Yeah.
Um, that's actually it was a huge way to make just friends all over the world then too. Have you like always been into the gaming in that kind of way, like being able to communicate, reach out?
Uh, I I feel like it's those type of things where you build bridges with people. Like, I don't know, you'll meet a friend through a friend. So I remember I still remember the first circumstance I ever had with online multiplayer. It was Call of Duty Modern Warfare on Xbox 360. I'd never played a goddamn multiplayer game ever. I'm not even talking like World of Warcraft or any other PC game or anything. I'd never ever experienced a multi online playing game. And one of my friends turned around and was like, "Yo, you should come play Call of Duty with me." I was like, "What the fuck is Call of Duty?" Like, I really wish 18-year-old me could hear this now. Like, what the fuck is Call of Duty? Like, everyone knows what Call of Duty is.
Yeah.
And I ended up meeting people through him. I ended up meeting people through them. You just continuously build bridges. Like you, for example,
Hmm.
I wouldn't have met you if I didn't meet Meatball.
Hmm.
I wouldn't have met Meatball if I didn't meet Scruffy. It's one of those like continuous bridges, and I think you just pick who you play with. So yeah, so I think that's the best part about it about with online gameplay is like you can legit make friends. I don't care if it's like we've never met face to face and all. It's like who gives a fuck about that? You can still build friends and everything
Hmm.
through it. So yeah.
Yeah. So have you kind of like doubling down on that topic a little bit? Have you always been a gamer ever since you were real little, or did you kind of like start a little later in life? Like
Oh no. Do I remember to this day, I want to say I was either like 12, 11 or 12. When I was in somewhere called Argos. Argos is like, I don't know, over in America it's like Walmart.
hmm.
And I really wanted a Nintendo 64. Really friggin' wanted one. I didn't get one because I remember seeing a PS1. You remember those like demo stands with the consoles and all?
Oh yeah.
I remember seeing a PS1 and I remember seeing a game called Ape Escape, and I saw that and I was like, whoa, look at the graphics on that. And you look at it now and it looks like Minecraft.
Hmm.
It's just blocks. So I remember begging for a PlayStation for Christmas. I got PS1 for Christmas. I played it a little bit, but I'd say the true addiction started when I got PS2. That's when I ended up playing stuff like, sorry, mum and dad, for lying to you. That's when I started playing stuff like Grand Theft Auto 3,
Yep.
like an 18-year-old game at the age of like 13 and all.
Yeah.
Like, I'd say that's when the addiction started. It's like you'd go home and you'd play stuff like that, and like even stuff like Metal Gear Solid. But I'd say the video game addiction has been there for a very long time.
Yeah. I gotta say, like, the PlayStation 2 is probably where it started for me too. We also had a PlayStation 1 in our house, and I remember playing it. We had stuff like the motocross games, um, I think Toy Story 2 or something like that.
That was a hell of a game. I remember that one. That was a
Yeah.
hell of a game.
Oh yeah, I'd nonstop repeat play it every day. Like,
Yeah.
didn't have a memory card, so I had to like pause it and walk away and just leave it running all day when I wanted to come back and keep playing through the next level. Um, yeah, PlayStation 2 though is where it really popped off. That's where I started myself at least with Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. I remember that my brother and we pulled an all-nighter one time, and I think we got grounded for like a week because my brother snuck into my room. That's where the PlayStation was at, and we sat there trading the controller right after each death back and forth, and we played Grand Theft Auto San Andreas with the volume all the way up, which we weren't supposed to do. My mom,
Yeah.
we were allowed to play the game, but the volume had to be off.
Yeah. I specifically remember as a kid, Metal Gear Solid 2. I had gotten to the bit with Raiden and I ended up facing the boss Fat Man.
Hmm.
And I remember finally killing Fat Man about, I don't know, I'll say 10:30 at night when I was supposed to be in bed. And I remember him turning around and saying, "I've hit him one more bomb on this oil rig or whatever," and I couldn't find it. I was running around the entire map trying to find this goddamn bomb because, FYI, this was at the day and age when you didn't have walkthroughs online. You didn't have online which told you where to go or any of that. It was just straightforward. You had to figure that shit out by yourself.
Oh yeah, and
And
or the I don't know if you guys had them over there. What do you
oh yeah,
the
with the
books
demos,
the
with the
books
demo CDs. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
the book
remember that.
yeah well, the Game Informers, and then they had the walkthrough books you could buy, but you had to wait like almost a year sometimes for those to come out.
Yeah, yeah, I remember, or the Game Shark cartridges and CDs where you could
Yeah.
like literally cheat the original paid DLC,
Yeah.
the OG paid DLC is what I called it. But
Yeah.
I just remember in that game running around looking for this goddamn bomb everywhere, only to find out that the bomb was underneath him and you had to drag him. And I only found that out because my friend Chris at school, who completed it, turned around and said, "Dude, it's underneath him." It's like, "What?" It's underneath him. I I pulled a sickie at school that day and went straight home and finally completed that bad boy. I remember that.
That's true gamer
That
right there.
yeah, that was I just remember putting a sickie and being like, "God damn, the bomb's there." And then I played the game that much, right? Do you remember the Tatcom thing that would call you?
Hmm.
So it turns out there's something in that game. If you play over 8 hours in that game, the I can't remember what his goddamn name is. The one with Snake.
Uh,
He would call you and he would say, "Shut off the game. I'll take it from here. Play it." It turns out if you play over 8 hours on that game, that it will just like it will call you and tell you to shut the game off and say like stop straining your eyes and everything. I played it that much.
I
Like
don't
it just constantly getting called.
I don't think I ever got to that point myself when I was playing it, but
Oh yeah, dude,
I played
give
that
it a
game a lot.
Google.
Yeah.
Give it a Google. It was so crazy. That was my first time ever experiencing an Easter egg in a game.
Yeah.
And like all I remember was sitting there thinking, this must be a part of the game telling me to shut off. And dude, I was so close to turning off my PS2, thinking like this must be a part of it. Because in Metal Gear Solid 1, do you remember that whole boss scene where you had to plug the controller into the second port? Because it would control your mind. One of the bosses on there, I thought this has got to be a part of Metal Gear Solid. It's gotta be. Turns
I
out it's not, it's an Easter egg.
yeah, I never actually played the first one, sadly, but I did play the second one. I think I've heard of that though, and that is for the time that is a really cool feature, and it's something you're probably not going to see again because you don't really have controller ports anymore.
Exactly.
It's
You'll
all
never see that again. You will
no.
never see.
I think we're gonna be
uh,
lucky to see a split screen these days.
Oh yeah, split screens, freaking Easter eggs like that. Like
Hmm.
I still remember to this day the Masingo glitch on Pokemon Blue and Red, where you'd swim up and down the coast getting the rare candies. I still remember how to do that because I abused it so much. And like before you know it, I had like 100 Pokemon in the Poke Center level 100. You know, I even had a Metapod which was level 100. I mean, what use is a Metapod at level 100 when it can just harden? You
Yeah.
know? But I don't know. I did it.
Yeah, speaking of things that we're talking about going back in time here and having a word of mouth communication to find these types of things too. You remember having to go to the store to buy a book for the cheat codes for like Grand Theft Auto because at least from my standpoint, we didn't have like access to the internet per se. We had one computer in the house, and we were kind of lucky to somebody wasn't on the phone to be able to use it.
Yeah, dial up, baby. Getting
Yeah.
straight dial up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just remember like every once in a while, the family would go out to the mall. I would run to the bookstore, and the first thing I would
Yeah.
look for is that Grand Theft Auto cheat book, or I think it was a book that had like a lot of different games in it for cheat codes. That's
Yeah, yeah.
That's something a lot
I
of kids these days aren't.
remember
Yeah, a lot of kids these
I
days aren't gonna
remember
know
those
anything about
books.
that.
I remember going into, like, the game shop and everything and just seeing the Game Shark, which you would see on there, it'd be like, I don't know, like Grand Theft Auto, Infinite Health, and you think, "What? This is amazing. How do they do this?"
Hmm.
And, yeah, I remember the Game Shark stuff and everything, and I mean, especially now on PC where you can mod the living heck out of everything.
Oh yeah.
Like, I will always miss the nostalgia what I call the nostalgia era of video gaming. I think one of my favorite memories is me and my friends going in for the midnight release of Modern Warfare 2. That will always be I for some reason, I miss midnight releases, like, going with your friends to pick up a disc game
Yeah.
dead early. I'll always miss that.
That communication with all the people that are excited to do the same thing.
Exactly, yeah, exactly. Like, just being able to pick up getting free posters, free stickers and everything, and all that. I don't like, some people this day and age going into video gaming, they'll never appreciate what some people genuinely went through to get the
Yeah.
latest video game, to trade in everything in your house, including the kitchen sink,
Hmm.
just to get a new game.
Yeah. Or in my
Yeah.
case, doing chores for 3 months to gain that, 16 cents a week to be able to
Oh,
go afford that.
I remember doing one of the most cheekiest things I ever did, right? So I remember when Grand Theft Auto San Andreas came out, I think I must have been about like 14 or 15, and I really, really wanted it. And for anyone who doesn't remember, Grand Theft Auto San Andreas was 18. You had to be 18 to buy that game.
Yep.
And I remember being in the supermarket with my parents, and I thought they're going to take one look at this goddamn game, see the 18 sticker, and they're going to raise questions. So probably the smartest thing I ever did, I took the sticker price very carefully off the game and put it over the 18 sticker. I turned around to my dad and said, "Do you mind if I have this as my birthday present or Christmas present, whatever?" And he was like, "Yeah, sure." Whacked it in the car. And all I remember was getting home and getting San Andreas and thinking, I can't believe I just got away with that. So, yeah.
That is some pro level advice right there.
Yeah, I like so I'll mess up putting on the washing machine or whatever if I had to, but like you give me a video game that I desperately want, I'll turn into Einstein with that stuff.
Oh yeah. I believe it.
Yeah.
Um yeah, I mean, fuck, I was the same way. I mean, I remember the first time I ever seen Grand Theft Auto San Andreas being played. This is kind of a little bit of a weird story. My I knew about the Grand Theft Auto series because I had an uncle that would come over every now and then. He had a PlayStation 2 with Grand Theft Auto games, and him and my dad would play it. They wouldn't let us play it for some reason. They would let us watch. Makes sense. Um, but me and my buddy were walking near the neighbor's house, and we just so happened to kind of glance over at their window and seen Grand Theft Auto San Andreas on their TV. So this is the '90s. it's We were young, we didn't know what we were doing, so we walked out there and we sat outside this poor guy's window for 2 hours watching him play Grand Theft Auto San Andreas.
Oh, dude. But
Because it was like the only access. We didn't have internet videos back then. You had to wait till a parent would take you to the store to be able to play demos, or you had to wait that once a month for a demo to come in the mail in Game Informer. So
yeah,
like our access was, hey, we seen it in the window, let's go watch it.
yeah, yeah. I remember that because I think the first experience I ever had with Grand Theft Auto was on the PS2, and my sister's boyfriend at the time, he he was older than me, and he had a bunch of games, and he had a PS2 too. And I remember that one of the first games he ever let me borrow was Madden 2003. Bear in mind, me being British, I knew nothing about American football. All I knew was that I could put myself in the game, and I was going to put it on the easiest thing, and I'd end up with like a quarterback rating of like 120, like no interceptions through like 12 touchdowns, finish the season MVP. And I got bored of it, and I said, "Is there anything else I can play?" And he said, "Oh, I haven't played this yet, and give it a try." And it's like Grand Theft Auto. I remember my sister turning around and going, "Isn't this a bit brutal for him to play?" That exact moment, I remember shooting a handgun outside of Luigi's place in GTA and popping some prostitute's head off. And I was like, "This is the best game I've ever played." Back then, if I'd have seen my kid playing that, I'd been like, "Whoa, don't play this."
Yeah.
But yeah, like I think that's where it genuinely set the love of Grand Theft Auto on there for me, was from that moment.
Oh yeah. Grand Theft Auto, man. There's so many memories that you can bring up just playing those games, especially with the ages we were at and had all day to play them. I love that game
Yeah.
too.
Exactly. That game will always be in a league of its own. So I'll always be happy I had that moment in life.
So you you've done a lot more obviously than just play games. I've heard you say earlier, and I've seen a couple of your YouTube videos. You do a little bit of guitar playing. You said you were in a band before.
Yeah. Yeah.
How was that?
I
Sorry, go ahead.
I mean, I'd probably say being in a band thing, it will always be something that I'll be happy with, because I kind of just wanted to play guitar for an instrument to, because I remember ages ago, I saw this kid called Chris James playing guitar, and he was crazy good. I just remember I wanted to play it. So I remember my dad buying me like one of those acoustic guitar, like those $30 acoustic guitars. Like they're really crap. It's basically a cardboard with 6 strings at this point. Like it's not an actual good guitar. And like even like remembering that I used to struggle like putting a power chord on a guitar and all. And like I just kept playing it and playing it and playing it. And right, this is gonna sound bad, but I remember when I was in school, I was in music class, and on like recess, what you guys call, or lunch break to us and all, I'd
Yeah.
go and play my guitar in the music room, and I learned Oasis Wonderwall. I started playing on guitar, and my music teacher turned around and was like, "Whoa!" Like making it a big deal and all. Bear in mind, I'd like to point out this was back in like 2006,
Hmm.
when it wasn't memed to fucking everything. And I remember thinking, damn, he thinks I'm really good because I play him Oasis Wonderwall. And I just kept playing and playing and playing. And I ended up getting in a band and just having a laugh with it and everything. And then before I knew it, for some reason, it took off. And like, instead of doing the usual thing where most people went to university or college and got loaded and all, I ended up just playing shows through all of like UK and Europe and all. Um, Back then, I really wish I kinda went to university, but at the same time, I'll always appreciate it because that guitar playing got me to, like, travel, you know?
Yeah.
I got to see parts of the world I never thought I'd see a part of, like, waking up drunk in Paris at 5 AM, and all you can see is the Eiffel Tower, and going to Belgium the next day, and then going down to Germany and all of that, like, I don't know. I had a great time with it. I loved it. Like I still play guitar now, but I think the whole flame of it kind of burnt off, which is why I went onto Twitch.
Yeah.
But yeah, I still try and play it now and then. And like especially with my kids, I kind of hope they pick up a hobby,
Hmm.
because everything I kind of had a hobby on, it's unlocked me to do more. So like with video games, I'm able to do Twitch. With guitar, I was able to travel and stuff, like it's opened up a lot of doors for me, and I'll always be super appreciated about that. Like especially considering the fact most of those times, like I said, especially with video games and guitar, were from my parents. Like my parents always supported me with everything I ever did. I kind of want to set that same principle with my kids going forward.
Yeah. Yeah. Give them something to live up to. Not
Exactly.
well, not
Yeah.
live up to. That's not the word I'm looking for. But yeah, yeah. Give them a little inspiration.
Yeah, like I still have all my guitars and everything, but
Hmm.
I think my gig days may be behind me. I
Yeah.
like my knees are not holding up as well as they used to now.
Yeah.
I know I needed a desk job, so I went on Twitch.
Well, that is a desk job.
Yeah.
And you still at Twitch, you still get that opportunity to basically kind of meet people from all over the place too.
Yeah, exactly. I still get that chance to meet people from all over the globe. Like behind me, I've got the map and it's got all pins in of where all my followers and all are from and all. And it's kind of crazy to think like I'm on that tiny little island
Hmm.
and then I've got someone in down Brisbane in Australia watching me. I've
Yeah.
got people in Minnesota, and I've got people in friggin', in goddamn, California and all.
You got one in Michigan there yet?
Mm. Oh yeah, there's two in Michigan, one for you and one for Meatball. You're
Hell
both in
yeah.
there, don't worry.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome, man.
Yeah, I think one of these days I think that's why I stream and everything as well. It's just I want my kids to take a look at it and go that at least even if I fail tomorrow on Twitch, at least I tried, you
Hmm.
know?
Well, and in like, it's just it kind of helps show them too that the world is not just this small little island that you guys are. Like, that's one thing I kind of want to do more with my kids growing up too. Is I really want to be able to travel and get them out more. I talk about this quite a bit, but it's like I was kind of closed off most of my life. I grew up in a small town. We got to travel little bits here and there, but it wasn't like a big thing for our family. And uh, just the inability to communicate sometimes with people kind of I feel like kind of stem from that. You don't really get out. You're used to talking to these same people every day. You're used to seeing the same people, so it's just like, hey, how you doing? Not bad. How are you? Okay, bye. You
Yeah.
know, it's just yeah, it's getting that cultural experience, and it kind of helps people be better people. I feel like.
Yeah. Yeah, 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 exactly. I think that's the one thing that most people take for granted, especially with online with I mean, say like with us now on Discord and all, is that you have the opportunity to just be within a click of a button, you can speak to your friends, you know? Because I remembered back ages ago, I wouldn't be able to talk to my friends unless I went and knocked on their door, or if I topped my phone up with credit or stuff like that. Like, and now it's just like bang, you can send a message, talk to them. Like, we can stream now on a podcast. Like, if this was something like back 20 years ago, I'd have to freaking travel. And yeah,
Yeah,
I think that's a glory of that.
yeah. Technology's been like greatly advanced. I mean,
Yeah.
like talking to Winterstar in India. I mean, like there's no delay at all. It's like you say something right there, you got a response. And I remember back when I was a kid, that dial-up internet, phone lines. You had to be in the kitchen, wired to the wall while you talked. And
MSN Messenger,
yeah,
yeah, all of that,
yeah,
yeah.
and
LimeWire to get your latest tunes.
yeah. And I remember you talking to somebody like one city away. You got like a 4-second delay for your voice to get to them.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Oh my god, man! I'm so glad that technology's improved since then.
I mean, like, look at us. You're over
Yeah,
in the UK right now, and it's instantaneous. It's awesome.
exactly. Yeah.
Can you imagine where we'd be without that?
Oh man, this podcast would take about 20 hours.
Yeah, a little too long.
Yeah,
We might be pen pals, maybe.
probably. Yeah, I might have to write you a formal letter just with all my answers.
Yeah. Oh man, those are some days, man.
Mm-hmm. Oh
So
man.
I'll let you finish the cookie first.
No, no, you crack on.
All
No
right.
problem.
So I guess what kind of advice would you have for somebody just kind of like starting out doing Twitch stuff? Like someone like me, let's say, like I'm just about to get to affiliate, looking to get more followers, more viewers, keep 'em, like I was talking about you had that ability to kind of be able to talk to people, play your game at the same time. What kind of advice would you have for people in order to maintain, that following and that viewership?
Be different. Be different is probably the biggest thing. You've got to remember with Twitch, it's not you versus 10 people. It's you versus millions of streamers. Okay, people also do not want to watch someone for, I don't know, whatever reason. People want to watch someone who makes them feel comfortable being there. Try and be welcoming, be friendly, be funny, be the best version of you that you can be. Okay. And I would also say, do not meet someone like Scruffy because they will ruin your life. But
uh,
no, I'd say probably the biggest thing is try and try and be different and try and build connections with people. Don't build connections simply off the fact that you want to be their streaming buddy or whatever. Build connections simply for yourself. Build friendships with people, okay? That's probably the best thing. Streaming and everything comes second, because going in with streaming, the best thing that you can gain from streaming is not fame, fortune, or anything like that. It's the friendships you build. That's the most important thing. Um, I don't stream to feel better about myself. I stream to make other people feel better, or try to. I make it sound like I make people feel better. I don't. End of the day, if I wasn't, if if I don't do enough to be where I am now, I'm not doing a good job.
mm,
So I always try to make sure my stuff makes other people feel better, makes other people smile, makes other people laugh. So I feel like that's the one thing I try to do different, which is very different on Twitch. I rely on viewer interaction heavily. So I'd say try to be different from what you usually see on Twitch, because
yeah,
not everyone wakes up as Tim the Tap Man.
yeah.
Not everyone wakes up as a Nick Mercs or as, God forbid, a fucking Amaranth or whatever. Those guys that you see on there, they've done the grind, they've done the work. I'm still grinding now. They're still grinding now to get where they are. I mean, I remember reading something about one of my favorite streamers, which was Tim the Tap Man. He's now arguably one of the biggest streamers in Call of Duty Warzone. And I remember seeing something about him playing Call of Duty Ghosts, if anyone remembers that, which was an awful game. He'd streamed to about 20 people on that, but he went in with the same energy, even to where he is at now. People want, you know, try and treat you the same. Don't expect that you're going to be, glorious overnight.
Yeah,
Build friendships, be kind, all of that.
yeah. So yeah, basically, just you're looking for friends, not to
Exactly.
monetize, not to
Exactly.
not
Yeah.
to stream.
I'm looking for the friendships, not the money.
Yeah. So like, put yourself in a mindset like you're back in a Modern Warfare 3 days, and just
Hmm.
playing with some friends.
Exactly.
You got a buddy in your room with you, watching you play. You know, you guys just talking, playing split screen.
I mean, I make it sound bad because one of my most generous people that on Twitch is friggin' Scruffy, and I
Mm-hmm.
play games with him every night. It's like I play with him just because he pays me enough. It's not. I play with Scruffy because he's a funny prick, and I play
Yeah,
with him just for that. But yeah,
yeah.
like with most people,
Gruffy's a solid dude. I'm actually, I was gonna talk to him about getting on the podcast soon too, because Meatball was telling me that he streamed at one point a while back.
he doesn't really stream as much, but there's been talks that he's coming back into it,
I know.
and I think that's the one thing I love about the people I've built friendships with in this day and age, where most people are, as bad as it sounds, get offended at the slightest thing.
Mhm.
Most of the people I'm with don't take offense to most stuff like that, and that's the thing I love about, especially my channel, is I'm able to still keep that same comedic value that I learned from back in the early 2000s that those guys grew up with as well. So yeah, that's what I love. There's not that whole sorry for people to get offended snowflake era, I call it. There's
Yeah.
not that. Yeah.
Um, it's actually a good topic to expand on there. Are you, like, as you're kind of growing, are you worried at all that you might have to kind of censor yourself?
I
Um,
don't give a shit.
yeah.
I'm gonna be completely honest here. I don't give a shit if I offend someone. I know what is offensive and what to me is not offensive. People still value that. I mean, I make it sound like, something crazy, but for me, I'm anti-racism and all of that stuff, anti whatever, like the
Hmm.
stuff I grew up with, but at the same time, most people seem to take offense to the very littlest thing.
Yeah.
If I offend people because of that, I'm sorry, you're probably in the wrong damn channel.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
that's one thing I think I was taught. Went over to Alex's house the other day, and I was actually having a talk with him because he made a comment to me because I make some pretty lewd jokes every now and then on his stream, and he I remember he brought me aside and he was like, "Hey, you mind stop, not doing that so much on my stream?" And I I was like, "Look, dude, I don't think anyone really cares. I mean." I told him if you really want me to stop on your stream, I will. I'll do that for
I
you.
think, yeah, I think that's the thing that most people, especially in like sort of my age bracket, sometimes they get worried what they're going to say online.
Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, like how most people just find offense at everything now. It just blows my mind. Like some of those people who take offense to stuff now would, god damn, they would not have lasted through the friggin' 2000s, 900,
No.
the 90s and all. They would
Yeah.
have not last through
Yeah.
that stuff.
Those Call of Duty lobbies, man. Call-
Oh man, that there would have been some Karen trigger moments through that,
oh
like
yeah.
real triggered moments.
If anybody ever recorded those lobbies back in the day, we'd all be canceled.
Oh hell yeah, hell yeah. Dude, I'd be cancelled now if some people read half of the Discord stuff I posted. So like,
Yeah, I feel that.
yeah,
But yeah, I ended up just telling Alex, I was like, especially with my stream, I plan on being the same way. Because my viewpoint on it is, even if I get that one person in there, it's like, hey, I hate you for doing this, you suck, and whatnot. And then they're like, I'm going to keep coming in here and trashing you and stuff like that. Just going to be like, okay, that's just more viewership.
yeah. And to me, Twitch is like a TV program. If you found a TV program that you hated and you thought, damn, that program sucks, what'd you do? You change the goddamn channel. It's the same thing with Twitch, you
Yeah,
know?
like
It's
you
the same
said,
goddamn thing with Twitch.
millions of millions of broadcasters out there.
Exactly. Millions of broadcasters. If you don't like the stuff that some streamers produce and all, there's someone out there for you.
Hmm. Oh yeah, man. So, do you have anything coming up that you're kind of excited for? I know you like to do challenges for your followers. I know you said you had that bot come in. I'm curious um, if you're gonna kind of count that towards your following challenge spree.
I've got a few things lined up, but at the moment I'm trying to take a bit of a backseat on it, especially with having a newborn in the house and all.
Hmm.
Like I always try to do. I used to do stuff for every 100 followers, but now I do it for every 1,000 because now it gives me a break. So like for 1,000, I did a 24-hour stream. For 2,000, I did an uncapped subathon. For 3,000, if I get there, I'm gonna be watching Screaming Cowboy for 10 hours live on stream. Like the same video for 10 hours. Like I full blown set on that.
that's
That
like
that that's the next big one.
that's
And
like some.
I
I hope you have earplugs you
yeah.
can wear underneath that headset of yours.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what scares me. I've got to sit here for 10 hours watching that. And I think the other thing I got, like, if I ever hit Twitch partnership, I've got to do a hot tub stream. Like, that's going to be interesting.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that earlier today. I was like, if I ever get enough followers to where I can start doing challenges, I was thinking about a challenge that I would do for myself, and I did think of
Yeah.
one. Um, I was just thinking about telling my wife about it. I was gonna do like a tease type chair dance.
Oh man, yeah, yeah, yeah. See, stuff like that is what makes you different from most people on stream. Like those little things. So like for every 100 followers back then, when I was like going from 1 to 1,000, I'd eat one of those like Carolina Ghost chilies every 100.
Hmm.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie, I'm a fucking pussy when it comes to spice. Like I cannot handle spice. And I'd have one of those chilies, and I'd feel like I was gonna die. Like I felt like Satan genuinely put his bollocks in my mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that again though. I would not do that again.
Yeah, it's I'm not very good on spice either. I remember like wasabi. I don't know if that's very spicy or not. I know it's kind of spicy. I remember my
Oh,
mother-in-law.
to me, it would be spicy. To me, it would be spicy.
Oh yeah, so we were at a Chinese restaurant, and I'm not a big spice fan. So my mother-in-law was trying to get me to try it, and the way she got me to try it was to put it up right up underneath my face and goes, "Try it, you pussy." She's my mother-in-law, and I couldn't let her just punk me like that. So yeah, I did it. I had to go to the bathroom and cry for a few minutes afterwards, but yeah, I did it.
Yeah,
I'm not very
yeah.
good at
There you
spicing it.
go. And you think stuff like that people would love to watch on stream, you know?
Yeah.
People would love to watch that stuff. People like seeing people get embarrassed or in pain or whatever, or screwed over. And that's the whole point of like the Moron Club is you can screw me over, you know? Like I've
Hmm.
always people enjoy that stuff. So I wouldn't say I capitalized on it, but I made it one of the main things of the program, like
Yeah.
try and have where people can really screw me over on games.
You've been mentioning the Moron Club. It's actually the first I've kind of heard about it. Is that like a little kind of friends group that helped you get started?
Okay. So the only reason it's called the Moron Club is I didn't know what the heck to call this frigging community I created. I really didn't know. All I know is that people are growing and growing and growing and growing. And I didn't want to call it anything stupid like the Awake Jimmy Club or the the Jimmy Army or whatever or any of this stupid stuff. And I remember one time I was streaming Battlefield and someone was saying something really friggin' stupid in chat and I called him moron. I full blown turned around and said, "You're a bunch of friggin' morons." I thought, "Hey, there you go, the Moron Club." So, and like even with the Moron Club, I try to make it about everyone else and as little about me as possible.
Hmm.
Because I've always wanted to make a community where everyone can just like band together and go and play games. And even to this day, sometimes I'll sit there and I'll be hundreds of miles away from home because I'm doing something. I'll see two people in the chat. I'll see two people playing games with each other, and I'll be like, "Damn, that's made me feel friggin' good," you know.
Yeah.
So like, I mean, don't get me wrong, it's so at everyone how when I go live and all because hey, I want my fucking viewer numbers, you know. But like at the same time, I always wanted to make it about everyone, so where people can just go in and say hello. Say if someone's got some good news, they can post it in there and stuff like that. I tried to make it more about them and less about me as much as possible, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, no, that makes sense. That's something me and Alex talked about quite a bit with the halfway tryhards. And uh, we're still relatively small, but we're at something we're working towards, and we're kind of hoping it gets expanded on more. Is this community being able to jump in, be like, "Hey, I'm about to start this game. Anyone down?" And then just like seeing people jump in and play with each
Exactly.
other. Because
Exactly. Yeah, yeah, yeah. See, that's the whole point of Discord is it's effectively it's not social media, but it's a place for people to jump in and play games. Like I'll jump in this one to come play CS:GO with you lot and everything. I want the same thing for the Moron Club and all, you know. I
yeah,
want it to just where people can go and do crap and all. I want it to be less about the fact I stream and more about something that I've created for them, you
yeah,
know?
and that's something that's pretty cool with Discord that I feel like too is like I guess in a way the accessibility of it I would say it's a little bit more limited accessibility wise than like let's say like Facebook or Twitter. So it's not like you're just getting everybody and their mother in one group chat and then like you're just kind of like throwing a message out and hoping. Usually you got a bunch of like-minded people that came to that specific Discord for the reason of finding people like you know? And it just kind of makes it so that like you're not putting a message out then you get a bunch of people saying haha nerd shut up and like that's one thing I realize with happening with Facebook a lot these days is you post something online you're trying to be serious about it and you just get a bunch of laugh faces and people telling you to go home boomer and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Exactly. Exactly that.
Yeah. Yes. Community stuff, I think it's a really good thing and I think it's something that I especially have missed out on you know uh,
Yeah.
in my years of being an introvert.
Yeah, like I always appreciate that I was able to have that whole stage where I could go out and see my friends, and I'd have to travel like 6 miles to go and meet my best friend and all to go to the skate park or whatever. But like at the same time, I'll always appreciate the fact that I had that, but now I have this too, where I can make friends all over the globe and all.
Hmm. Yeah, and who knows? Maybe someday you'll be traveling a little bit more than 6 miles to meet some of these people.
Yeah, I mean that's a hope.
Yeah,
I mean I love traveling and
yeah,
also yeah.
yeah. That's something I think I would like to do some point in the future. I have no idea when or how,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I guess it kind of, like I said, the that just that excuse to get out. I think it's what's
Yeah.
gonna make it nice.
Yeah, I think that's what some people, especially with the whole lockdown situation with COVID and all, I think that's what some people won't realize is that being locked in your house all day is sometimes not good.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, like I said, I was kind of, my whole life I've been kind of an introvert. I've never been like, hey, let's go out and do this. It's been like I'd rather just stay in and do this. Like, um,
Yeah, like
like
I've
avoiding text messages, avoiding phone calls, and I've
exactly
start to realize how much you actually miss out on, like the feeling you can get from that of just like being out, being in touch with people.
yeah. I think it's best to try and mix it.
Hmm.
It's best to try and mix it because there's a lot of stuff out there, but at the same time, sometimes it's nice to be wrapped up in your house watching, your favorite TV program or playing your favorite game and all.
Yeah, and comfortable.
Mm-hmm. It's
Makes
what
sense.
people feel is comfortable. I mean, especially in this day and age where everyone seems to be battling their own shit. You know,
Hmm.
everyone does it differently. So like when I'm down in the dumps upset, I like to put on a video game and I like to put on my favorite music and all. Like that's my therapy right there. You
Yeah.
know?
So, I'm just curious, your significant other, how did she kind of take the whole transition into becoming a full-time streamer? Um, did she kind of, was she reluctant about it, or did you meet her after the fact? Just curious.
She was she was very supportive, very very supportive. I I took a bit of a break from streaming and Twitch for a couple of months because of personal reasons. And I came back to it and I said like I kind of just really miss it. And she's really supportive of it. She's still really supportive now. So like I'm glad I'll always have that support from her, especially with streaming because I've always tried to do something for myself. So whether it was being in a band, whether it was YouTube, whether it was anything like that, and I finally got the break I needed or wanted on Twitch, and it's only because I grinded so goddamn friggin' much from it. But no, she was really supportive of stuff like that, and I'll always be thankful for that.
Oh yeah, man, awesome.
Mm.
It's awesome. Well, I'll tell you what, it's been fun. We're coming up on the hour here, so yeah, I think we'll call it. But it's been awesome talking to you, man. I hope maybe someday we can have you on the podcast again. I'll definitely be seeing you, playing games and watching your Twitch stream and stuff. And yeah, everybody make sure you go visit Wake Jimmy, give him some follows, give him some subs. You know, communicate, talk with him.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
if I could close on one thing, especially with Halfwit and Tryhards, um, be nice to everyone, never judge anyone, and also Meatball cheats on CS:GO, and he thinks he's better than me, but he's not. There you go. Hi, Meatball, if you watch this.
I I can confirm actually.
Yeah, he's a hacker. He's Haxer. He's a hacker.
Yeah, I've seen it with my own two eyes.
Yeah, so have I. So have I. Meatball cheats.
All right, man. Well, hey, it was fun talking to you.